So good night. I'm very pleased to be here and glad with the invitation for this testimony. And I hope I can contribute with all of you with some of my story. I'll begin. The title is Trusting God, Trusting Life. And also it could be a beautiful life, an extraordinary life, because I've been trusting and it's been extraordinary. It's been beautiful. I stream just a bit of me. Okay. Okay, here. Well, my name is Amanda. Amanda Appelt. I was born in Brazil in a city called Anápolis in February 20th of 1997. And I'm graduated as an agronomic engineer. So this is me catching some tomatoes when I was studying my college degree, and I used to go to the farm and make some volunteer there and trying to grow. That's my, I don't know if it's showing the pointing here, but there is a photo of my mom and me as a baby in her lap. And here's me grown up with my mom in one picture, and then my father. And the other is me in my farm. Now I'm also a farmer, and I cultivate with my brother. We produce together, we work together. And well, this is just a brief introduction of me. And but I will skip it and say I graduated from agronomic engineer. And when I was in the middle of the college, I was thinking about what am I going to do? Because my family is of farmers and people who work with land for a very long time. But I felt I need to do something more. My brother was already taking care of the farm. So I had since the middle of my college, I found out what I thought I would do, and I started working with that, and I started making plans, and I saw that I was more about, I love the country, but I love science, and that was more about chemistry and biochemistry and all those things, and I decided that I would be, and go for academics. And then I had already a path that I had designed for myself, and I was going to study and work with as a consultant for biological control in sugarcane systems, especially organic ones. And I had an idea of what I was going to do. And then pandemic happened, and things were a bit changed. And I was with this feeling that although I had this preparation, these expectations for the future, something was missing. And I was praying, saying, God, I'd like to know which ways I'm supposed to go. Is this the right one? And am I fulfilling my mission here? I was thinking about all of this, but as many of us do, we just go with life, working and hoping things will be okay. And then in July 17th of the year of 2020, I had this car accident, and this is the only photo I'm showing. There are some pretty worse. And I had this bad car accident. My finger was completely destroyed. And the funny thing is that I was going back to the farm to an online piano class, because I used to study piano before college. And when I finished my studies, I decided to get back to piano. It was one of my first passions in life. And I had this incident that happened, and I had a small brain injury, and my finger was just completely broken, and several others injuries. I was 23 years old, and I thought that maybe I wouldn't make it to the next day. I couldn't see very well. I was partially blind because of the crash, and so I wasn't sure if I would see again or if I would be alive again in the next hours, or if I would be okay, if I would have any type of injury, if not be able to keep my life in a normal way. So it was a very it was very unsure time, and I was very scared, and well, I was just beginning everything, and have the whole life I had, and this happened. I was really afraid. But thank God, I had so much help. I was alone at this time, but at the moment I just stepped out of the car, there was someone waiting me and comforted me and took me to the hospital, called to my parents, and I had a long way to recover. And then it was like 4 months to recover my hand, and never once a moment I thought I wouldn't recover it. So I just did what the doctor said, and I was always thinking and talking to my hand, saying, you're going to be okay, I'm going to take care of you. And now my finger, this one of the picture who was completely shattered, it's completely normal. And I believe it's, first, I never thought I wouldn't be okay. The moment I knew I would be okay, that my brain was not, I didn't need a surgery and it would be recovered, I never thought, I just thought I would be okay. And then when I got back to my doctor after a few sessions of therapy, he couldn't believe how good I was. And I showed to him, and he would look at, no. It's not possible for this type of injury to be so whole now this way. You couldn't. But I never doubt of it, and then I got better. But besides this, and also I took like more than a year and a half to recover my knee and some other parts that wasn't okay, was hurting. But this isn't a story just about the accident. It's more about what happened next. I had all this happening, but the biggest point is that voice that said something was missing, and that feeling that there was something more was even stronger, and I was a little more lost, and I was trying to find out what to do. And then I got into this journey of finding out who I am, and discovering another level of what is to trust God and what is to keep trusting in life. Well, this is the first meeting I ever been of Seicho-No-Ie here in Brazil. And there is this girl with a dress who is kneeling down. I don't know if you're going to recognize her, but she was a colleague from college, and she's the one who asked me. Sometimes she sent me an invitation, and there was this day, and I was this lost, and I thought, well, I was wishing to find some place where I could work my brain and my mind, so I could achieve something greater and more. And when I got into this, and then I just saw the invitation, said, okay, I'm going there. And when I went into this into this meeting, it was the answer for everything I was looking for this day. And I thought, okay, I think this might be the way. I never came back after this. I bought some books online, started studying, and lots of things happened in my life. At this time, many things has changed, and I felt in depression. Something I never thought I would feel, especially because I had such a good life in many ways. But I felt that, and I was still lost, still trying to find a way. But I was always keeping trust, and once in a while reading books of Seicho-No-Ie, trying to. It had already a lot of what I believed, and in some way I was practicing it. And then after this meeting, I decided I was going to find myself and go around the world. I've been doing rappel several times. This was one of the biggest ones, more than 100 meters that I've been going down. And I was traveling around Brazil. But I still going through my way. And then this time I started also studying. I decided I would study all the religions and philosophies, and I was going to say by myself what I would believe and what made sense for me. And at this time, I started reading a lot the Bible, the Gospels, and I found so much wisdom there, and I was very curious to know Israel. And then I said to myself, wow, I was divided. I was decided to go after some big dreams. And I thought, well, I might go to Israel. And the next day I saw this advertisement of an immersion in the business culture of Israel. And I didn't want it to go as just a tourist and in a more superficial, silly way. I wanted to immerse there. And I thought, well, maybe this is an answer. And then I started to look things and just see where I could go. And when I started looking at it, I didn't have the money or even much the courage to go, because I never done something like that. And I said, okay, let's try a bit. And sometimes I didn't have much support. My parents with some, I understand a lot of them. They were a lot worried about me. So they didn't want me to go anywhere. Well, that would be far from them. And but they wanted me to be okay. And I said, I gotta do my own path. And well, I I didn't have much to do it or to go, but I decided I would go there no matter what. So I first hired this immersion, and then I looked it for the passes, and I thought, okay, I will go to this immersion, and I want to know the country and all those places. I want to integrate them. And I looked for some companies to go around with me, and I thought they were too expensive. And I thought that would be a little bit restricted to that routine of if I bought some vacation combo, something like that. And I decided to go by myself. I had just 6 days of hotel, my ticket, my plane ticket, and other 15 days to discover what I was going to do there. And I just said to myself, well, I'm going to trust in God. And at this point, I'd like to remember you that in the beginning of this story, I felt I had control. I know what I was going to do. I had an idea, a plan, and not that it isn't good to have a plan, we have to have and have to go for it. But my plan wasn't the plan that should be going. And when I lost control, I felt lost, and I felt and I was losing trust in life, and I wasn't knowing what to do. So I felt in depression. And well, as I was already feeling this way, I thought I could be bad. So let's try. And that's when I just give up on the control and started trusting really. As I went into the Middle East alone with nobody by my side. And I went alone, and I had just a few days of hotel. And I just thought, there is something there for me. I just believe that God had something for me. And I prayed for him and said, if this is your will, everything will work for me. And I believe in that trust in you. At this point, it was in August of 2023, a little bit before the war. And my parents were just going crazy with everything that was going on. And I told them, don't worry, I'm not afraid of dying, because the day that God has for me, that's the day, and I'm not at all afraid. I believe that he has his path for me, and I'm just going there, and I trust that he has something for me. And while I went into this trip, the second photo is actually me in Dubai, because I had a long connection there, and I met Burj Khalifa, and I also made friendships the whole travel, and it was so great. I went alone. At the beginning, I was so afraid if it would work out, if I was crazy, if I was losing my mind. But the moment I left my home, every single place I found someone or some place or something that helped me and that were there by my side. In Dubai, I made many friends. Every flight that I took, I made friends. And in Dubai, I made there was this driver who helped me so much. He was an angel for me. In this picture, I met these friends that they are from Germany, and they were there on vacation, and they took this photo. We made some connections. Well, the other picture is me on a boat at the Galilee Sea, and I was walking around Jerusalem and meeting all those places amazing in history that I always dreamed of meeting. And it took me to be courageous and believe that it would work out. So when we think about the desert, and when I talk about depression, many times we use the desert to talk about these times that are dry and isolated in our lives. And one thing that I discovered is that depression isn't a sickness or something bad that you should look at this way. But it's a calling. It's life shaking you a bit and saying, there's something lost here. There's something that is not going this way. And if you stop being so worried or afraid or thinking that the desert will never end and there's only bad things, it will be really hard for you to get out of there. But if you look at this time, at some time for you to go inside and to work yourself and to discover new ways, well, the desert isn't that terrible. Actually, you might find a path in the desert, you might find lights, you might find Bedouins singing for you, and you might find treasures. And that's what I found. I found new friends, I found new ways, new paths, and I found beautiful things. I always dreamed to meet many of these places, and I never thought I would be able to do it. And when I decided to go into Israel, I just discovered that it was possible to cross into Jordan. And while I went there alone, I made friends when I was there. And with those friends, we rented a car and we walked around the whole place. And every single place I would make friends. And well, 2 weeks before that terrible war that is happening now, I was crossing Palestine at night. And I made friends with those people. And every time I see that war, those things happening, I just think that I found so many kind people all around the world. And wow, those are the people who want any war or anything bad. Well, this is another trip. When I was in Israel, I discovered so much about myself. When I stepped into the unknown, and I just trust that things would work out. That strengthened me. And I just started this path to discover a lot more about myself. And well, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to make any travel, any other journey so soon, because it was a really big one, a really big how did I say, it would be a disappoint obstacle, and it worked so well. And well, in the beginning of it, I didn't have much the money or some other conditions, but once I heard you have to put your foot first, and then the ground will appear, the way will show. And that's what I did. After that, I couldn't believe, but wonderful things happened. And I could do another dream of my life. So I went into Iceland. I wanted to see the Northern Lights. And I've seen those really, really beautiful landscapes. And such a different world, at least for me, coming from the heart of Brazil. I could see such a different climate, such a different environment. And I just love so much nature and all those wild places. And I just went for it. Also with a hope and willing heart, believing that things would work out and everything were even better than I could ever plan. In this trip, this other one with the Aurora is also in Norway. I didn't also went to Iceland, but later on I went to Norway. And well, in this path, I made friends in the whole world, many people, and my family and my connections were just growing bigger, and my sense of myself and of life was just getting a lot bigger every single time. And that's the beauty of it. It's how much things can be a lot, how things can change so much, and if you get so far, if you trust in it, just a little step each time. And well, the greatest part was the friendships. And this is me with Elio. It's another amazing story that we have together, because well, when I started the piano, I known this maestro, this man in black in the picture, is a great maestro here in Brazil, not in Brazil, in the world. This man is just the greatest pianist, one of the greatest of history, and one of the greatest maestro in the world. This man, he had such a passion for what he did, for playing the piano, that he had like more than 20 surgeries. He has this problem in his hands, and with the time he had to fight to keep doing what he was passionate about. And I was just so passionate about him because he would never give up on it and he would always trust in himself. And I just had this dream of meeting him. I put it in my mind. And when I met Elio, he said he met him once and they became friends. And I said, yes, that's it. Now I'm sure I'm going to be friends with the maestro. And I had no doubt about it. I just put it in my mind and I started seeking of it. I looked for events to bring to my city so he could come. It didn't work it. So I said, okay, baby steps. I bought a ticket to watch him playing in São Paulo. I bought the flight ticket and was waiting for it. But I couldn't even know about it. But life already had planned something. And in one of the times that I met Elio, he came and he was talking to the maestro, and he was going to a city that is close to where he lives, Belo Horizonte. And he said to him, well, you could go there and see me playing. And I said to him, Elio, if you decide to go, I'm going with you. And in less than a week, we decided to go. I bought a bus ticket and went to there. And he said, I don't know if we're going to see the maestro. And I said, don't worry, you don't have to promise me anything. I just trust that God is guiding me. And I went with never doubting that that thing was being planned. And we get there, and I just met him, and we could spend almost half an hour in his the place where he stays before the show. We were there with him, talking and getting autographs, and it was just this magical moment. And I couldn't believe that this happened. I know I undoubtedly thought about it, but when it happened, I was thinking, oh my God, my mind really created this. I believed it and things come. And well, it was one of the greatest nights of my life, and it was so great to share with a friend. One of the best things is to share. And in this journey, I also learned to share, and also learning that you don't have to be waiting for someone. You just have to put yourself out there, and others that have the same passions will find you, and you will live so much, so beautiful, so great adventures. And so I had this one with the horses. I was horseback riding in Iceland, and then I was alone again because the people that I was going around to see the Northern Lights had already gone out of the country. And I just met this girl that morning. She's from Washington. And it was so great. I had spent such a good time with her. And down was the people I was going around for the night, Northern Lights. They are a lot older and with such a joy and so many great stories. And we've been sharing all of this. And life was just becoming even greater. Well, I think I might have finished this about all those journeys, but it has so much small stories to talk about. and I don't know if I have overcome the time, but I would say just never stop believing, because having control is an illusion, but knowing that God has the whole control of everything, and that all your dreams can come true and things can be prettier than you could ever think, that's the truth. Not just live in a lost way, not thinking about other things and not planning, but dream big, and you surely will live something great.